2022 has come and gone, and it was quite a year for video games. So many games came out this year, and today I'm going to list my top 10 games of the year. A very original idea, I know. Keep in mind that this is my personal opinion, and as there were a lot of games this year, this is a tough list. Without further ado, let's get started. Number 10. Final Fantasy VII is one of my favorite video games of all time. And in addition to the main PS1 classic, there is also a collection of spin-offs. One such spin-off includes Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII for the PSP, a great game showcasing the story of Zack Fair prior to the events of the original game. I have wanted an HD remake for consoles for years now, and with Crisis Core Reunion, I got just that and a little more. This game takes everything great about the original and improves upon it all. It's so much prettier now using the engine Final Fantasy VII Remake did, and the combat got a bit of an overhaul, now being way more fun than the original. However, the RNG level up system is still intact, definitely something I wish they changed. The story, however, remains unchanged from the original, thankfully, and features a whole new voice cast, including those from Final Fantasy VII Remake. Hearing Cody Christian as Cloud is always a delight, and Tyler Hoechlin gives just as good a performance as Sephiroth here as he did in Remake. And of course, Brianna White is just the perfect Aerith. Angela and Genesis also got new VAs, and they both sound great, but yeah, alright, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Zack's new voice sucks. I'm sorry, there's really no way around it. Rick Gomez gave such a heartfelt performance in the original that Caleb Pierce unfortunately fails horribly at capturing. He doesn't provide the right emotion when delivering certain lines, and the deliveries he gives are just bad.
What the hell did you do, Angel?
Normally I'd be able to look past this, but Zack is the main fucking character. You're going to be hearing his voice a lot. But other than that, this is a fantastic way to play this classic. And if you install a mod that brings back Rick Gomez's performance as Zack, it's the definitive way to play Crisis Core for sure. Number 9. Pokemon has had a bit of a rough relationship with me in recent years. The last game I really loved was Diamond and Pearl, while only liking Black and White and X and Y, disliking Sun and Moon, and absolutely fucking hating Sword and Shield. It became clear to me that the franchise had become kind of stagnant and was in desperate need of something new. Thankfully, Pokemon Legends Arceus was that something new. This game took the Pokemon formula we've known for years and flipped it on its head in the best way possible. Having ties to Diamond and Pearl was definitely a point in its favor, considering that's my favorite generation of Pokemon. But the new game mechanics were such a welcome change to a formula that I grew so bored with. Set in the Hisui region, aka Ancient Sinnoh, you actually play as the protagonist from Diamond and Pearl, who gets sent back in time by the Pokemon God himself. Here you take on the role of a Pokemon surveyor, with the penultimate goal of completing the Pokedex. The mechanics in this game are so much fun. Yeah, you still have the standard battling, but you can also catch Pokemon just by sneaking up on them and throwing a ball. You can get materials to craft new Pokeballs and other items to help you on your journey, and I can't forget about the new style system. During a battle, your Pokemon can attack with either Strong Style, which does more damage, or Agile Style, which lets you attack twice in a row, and these styles can make or break a battle. Playing around with them and strategizing is the most fun I've had Pokemon battling in years. And let's not forget the Alpha Pokemon, larger Pokemon that are more difficult to catch, making it so much more exciting when you finally do catch one. In addition to that, there's just straight up boss battles against Pokemon, and they are so much fun. Pokemon Legends Arceus was such a refreshing change of pace for the series, and something that I would love to see revisited one day. Number 8. I love fighting games, and when it comes to fighting games, for me, the undisputed king is Arc System Works. Every fighting game they have put out is a blast to play. From Guilty Gear to BlazBlue to Dragon Ball FighterZ, these are always quality titles, and their newest game, DNF Duel, is no different. Based on the Dungeon Fighter series, a series I know absolutely nothing about, this fighting game takes different classes from that game and makes them into fully fleshed out characters with their own unique personalities. I must also say that this may be the most beginner-friendly fighting game I have ever played. All of the special moves are mapped to one button, no fancy inputs necessary. This game is the perfect example of easy to learn but difficult to master. With a wide range of characters, each with their own unique story mode, there's tons of replayability here. And we're getting new characters added later this year to keep the fun going. But, I don't know, no matter who they add, I'm still going to be a Ghostblade main for life. Number 7. Splatoon 3 is just more Splatoon, and I couldn't really have asked for anything more. New weapons, new outfits, new abilities, and a new story. This really is just Splatoon 2 but better, which makes sense considering that game was just Splatoon 1 but better. The story mode in this game is, honestly, the best in the series by far. Not only is the story itself super interesting, but it starts with this amazing fake out making you think it's going to play just like the previous 2 campaigns, only to be revealed that it actually plays more like Splatoon 2's Octo Expansion DLC. I won't go too in depth into story spoilers, but the final boss is incredible. All the classic Splatoon modes make a return, including Splatoon 2's Salmon Run, now being better than ever, including new bosses, and even a fucking salmon kaiju battle, which no, I still have never beaten. It's really hard to put into words what I like so much about Splatoon 3 without going in depth about what makes the series as a whole so fun, but that's just it, man. Splatoon as a whole is just pure fun. And in my opinion, Splatoon 3 is the perfection of that formula. Number 6. Shovel Knight is one of my all-time favorite indie games. An incredible NES-inspired game that features 4 campaigns, each with their own unique playstyle and story, and an absolute banging soundtrack. So, when a new Shovel Knight was announced, this time taking inspiration from the SNES, I was on board immediately. When Shovel Knight Dig finally released, I was surprised to learn that not only is it a prequel to the original, but is also an impressively fun roguelike. As Shovel Knight, you dig deeper and deeper into the Earth's crust to uncover more secrets about the world below. With randomly generated rooms, you never know what's coming next, which gives you such a feeling of excitement. The gameplay is pretty much the same as the original, with a few new power-ups here and there to give you some new variety. Jake Kaufman returns to compose for this game as well, and just like the original, the soundtrack absolutely slaps. Shovel Knight Dig is so engaging and fun to play, and it just further solidifies my feelings that the Shovel Knight franchise just never misses. Number 5. A few years back, when Nintendo and Ubisoft announced they were collaborating on a Mario and Rabbids crossover, I was less than pleased. I hate the Rabbids. Not only are they loud and obnoxious, but as a Rayman fan, it's hard to forgive them for killing the franchise for a long time. However, when the game came out, much to my surprise, it was good. Like, really good. The Rabbids were significantly toned down, and the tactical RPG gameplay was really fun. So naturally, when a sequel was announced, I actually got pretty hyped. Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope takes everything that made the first game great and dials that shit up to 11. A bigger and more expansive world to explore, new playable characters including the GOAT Bowser, and newcomer Edge, who is honestly the best character in the game, like she's so fucking cool. Plus there's the ability to free roam during battles, which is a much needed improvement over the first game. Sparks of Hope is just one of those games that has so much polish to it. From incredible animations to beautiful environments and even having voice acting this time around, this game just gets it all right. And I won't get too deep into spoilers, but as a huge Rosalina fan, that endgame was hype as fuck. And if all that wasn't enough, we're getting 3 waves of DLC, including 2 new stories, one of which featuring the long-awaited return of our boy Rayman. God, I am so excited for that. Number 4. I love the Ninja Turtles. I mean, they're Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. What's not to love? And the Shell Kickers have had plenty of games over the years, but none ever came close to eclipsing Turtles in Time, one of the greatest beat-em-ups you could find on the Super Nintendo. But now that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge is out, yeah, I think they eclipsed it. Take everything great about Turtles in Time, double it, and then double it again. More playable characters including April O'Neil, Splinter, and even Casey Jones, 6-player co-op both local and online, full voice acting from the original cast, more moves, an incredible soundtrack by T. Lopes. This game just fucking has it all, man. I had so much fun playing this game that I 100% completed the story mode with every playable character. That's 7 full playthroughs, and not once did I get sick of it. This game is just a blast to play. What else can I say except... Number 3. What do you get when you cross Doom with a rhythm game? Probably a question that no one ever asked, but Metal Hellsinger is the answer. This is one of the most fun experiences I have ever had with a first-person shooter. Firing your weapons in sync with some brutal metal music is something straight out of my wildest dreams. I'm not joking when I say this has become one of my favorite first-person shooter games ever, even rivaling Doom Eternal. In this game, you play as a demon called the Unknown, who traverses hell on a quest to get her voice back from the Queen of Hell, the Red Judge. The replayability of this game is expansive too, giving you special missions to complete, various difficulty levels, each with new secrets to find, and so much more. All the while blasting through demons in beat with one of the greatest soundtracks I've heard in a game in a long time. It's no secret that I am a huge metalhead, and this soundtrack brings in some of the greatest metal vocalists of our time. Alyssa Whiteglass of Arch Enemy, Tatiana Schmilek of Ginger, Matt Heafy of Trivium, Randy Blythe of Lamb of God, and even motherfucking Serge Tankian of System of a Down. This game, hands down, features my favorite game soundtrack of the year. Yes, even beating that game. Speaking of that game, number 2. Yeah, I'm sure this comes as a surprise to absolutely nobody, but of course Sonic Frontiers is going to be on this list. Talk about one of the biggest 180s I've ever pulled on a game. When it was first shown off, I, like many, thought it looked fucking awful. Sonic wandering around a big open area with nothing to do was exactly what I feared an open world Sonic game would be. But as time went on, and as we learned more, things started to turn around, and the game just kept looking better and better. When the game finally launched, I was floored. This was the most fun I've had with a 3D Sonic game since Generations. The open world takes less from games like Breath of the Wild and more from games like Mario Odyssey. Larger, separate areas to explore rather than one huge one. And how did they make an open world Sonic work so well? By making it a collectathon. Absolutely genius. The open zone is a joy to traverse through and features dozens of challenges to complete as you track down the Chaos Emeralds on a quest to save your friends. There's also shorter linear stages called Cyberspace, and these levels are an absolute blast to speedrun, all of which feature some real bumpin' music. Nah, but the real MVP goes to the boss battles. Not only do you face off against colossal titans, but you get to absolutely wreck them with Supersonic. All the while, some of the best metal music in any Sonic game plays, featuring vocals from Kellen Quinn of Sleeping with Sirens. It was very hard for me to pick best soundtrack between this and Metal Hellsinger. Sonic Frontiers is the Sonic game that I have waited 11 years for. It filled my heart with something a Sonic game hasn't filled me with in a long time. Hope. Hope for this fucking franchise. And we're getting 3 waves of free DLC, with the final one being a whole new story featuring new playable characters, Knuckles, Tails, Amy, maybe Sage, I don't know. Either way, fuck man, this is great. I love this game. Now, I know what you're thinking. Shaze, what the fuck could possibly top Sonic Frontiers? Well, before I answer that, let's take a quick look at some honorable mentions. Honorable mentions. Them's Fightin' Herds. As a big fan of the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic cartoon, I've been following this game way back when it was still a My Little Pony fan game, and now that it's here, I absolutely love it. But this didn't make the list on a technicality. The game actually came out 2 years ago, but just didn't come to consoles until now. Cult of the Lamb. A cute and dark roguelike / town sim hybrid. This game is a lot of fun, but mainly for the roguelike parts. It's no secret that I don't like town sim games, so that stuff I just kind of glossed over. Still, it's fun time. Neon White. I so desperately tried to love this game because there is a lot of cool shit here. A fast-paced first-person shooter / platformer. This was a really, really fun game in the beginning. As it went on, it just got way too hard where even the slightest mistake meant game over. That kind of shit is a little too strict for my liking. Still, the core gameplay loop is really fun, even if the endgame did make me rage quit. Klonoa Fantasy Reverie. I love the first 2 Klonoa games, and this is just the first 2 Klonoa games, but remade in HD. It's a lot of fun, but it's essentially the same games with not too many differences. Pac-Man World Repack. I love the first Pac-Man World, and this remake was fantastic. It gave a much-needed update with tons of quality of life improvements. However, there were a couple of things that I liked more in the original. All of the voice acting was removed, and the iconic opening cutscene was completely changed. The music also didn't seem to get much of an overhaul, sometimes sounding muffled and out of place. But I still think it's the definitive way to play this game. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, a fully open-world Pokemon game that I had a blast playing through. This game was very close to making my top 10, but I admit, there are a lot of technical issues that kind of bring the whole experience down. But if you're able to look past them, this is the most fun a mainline Pokemon game has been in a long time, even if I do prefer Legends mechanics. Sonic Origins, a collection of the first 4 Sonic games, and a pretty good one. The addition of animated cutscenes bridging the gaps between games was a nice touch, but overall, it is just the same games we've played a million times before. Cuphead: The Delicious Last Course. Another technicality, as this is a DLC and not a full game. Otherwise, it would have made the list for sure, because it is a damn good DLC, giving us some of the best bosses and the best animation in the whole game. Plus, new playable character, Miss Chalice, so much fun, love her. Overwatch 2. I used to love Overwatch, but as the game went on, it just got progressively less fun. But Overwatch 2 fixed a lot of the problems I had with the original towards the end, and made it fun to play again. However, I still think going free to play was a mistake. It just opens the floodgates for microtransactions out the wazoo, which is exactly what it does. Number 1. Of fucking course it's Kirby in the Forgotten Land. I adore this franchise, and I have wanted a fully 3D Kirby game since Kirby 64. Forgotten Land not only delivered on that dream, it exceeded my wildest expectations. It is so good. The classic Kirby formula translates perfectly to 3D, and even makes the exploration aspect of the series more engaging. Using the classic copy abilities and even some new copy abilities to traverse these areas is so much fun. Plus, the ability to play speedrun challenges in order to collect stones to then be used to upgrade your copy abilities? Brilliant! Kirby's moveset is all here, but now there's this sweet dodge roll that makes bosses so much more fun to fight. Oh yeah, and the boss battles? Some of the best in the series. Oh my god, these fights are so much fun. And of course, I can't leave out Mouthful Mode, a new ability where Kirby inhales larger objects to be used for situational purposes. This was such a good idea. As always for Kirby, the music goes so hard, giving us some real bangers, including my personal favorite Meta Knight theme in the series. And as for someone whose brain contains a library of Kirby lore, oh man, we eating good. This game gets fucking crazy with lore. Kirby in the Forgotten Land is one of those rare games that I would not put down until I completed everything there is to do in the game, and then still kept playing after I was done. I loved every second of this game and had the biggest smile on my face the whole way. This is not only my game of the year, but has surpassed Superstar Ultra as my favorite Kirby game. I absolutely loved it. So, there you have it. That's my list, and I'm sticking to it. So what was your favorite game this year? Did it make the list? Maybe it's even a game I haven't played yet. Whatever it is, leave that in the comments. And if you like this video, leave a like to let me know. I have a lot of big things planned for 2023, so hit that subscribe button to stay updated. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.